massacres that have been exposed out of Israel is what I'm going to start with. And a big theme I'm going to talk about on the stream today is, for the first time, I talked about this on my stream a little bit last night, but for the first time during any of these Israeli conflicts and attacks on Israel and kidnappings and murders, for the first time, for the most part, the media is on the side of Israel. That's what I'm going to, and I'm going to talk about these massacres yesterday. This has never happened before. Usually the media are like Andrea Mitchell. They're against Israel. So we're going to talk about all of that, break it down, take your calls live. We'll be on the air in less than 1 minute live. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And of course, the number to call in is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. But just terrible stories coming out of Israel. There's no doubt about that. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. The countdown has begun. Less than 30 seconds. Here we go.
Exclusions apply. See associate or visit staples.com/Craig for details.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right. Welcome one and all to the program. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. Welcome back to a day of just terrible news. You know, the atrocities that are coming out of Israel from these Iranian terrorist attacks is just beyond imagination. You know, on Monday, I got a call from Rabbi David. You guys remember Rabbi David's call? It was early Monday morning. And he said, what we're seeing in Israel is a Holocaust. He said, this is a Holocaust. And a lot of people weren't seeing that. And he detailed how what happened over the weekend was a Holocaust. And now yesterday, we get the stories about the massacres against the babies and families. I'm going to play you some audio about this as the show goes on. And this is exactly the Holocaust. You know, the Holocaust, because it was so long ago, we know it through, you know, black and white documentaries. Even Schindler's List, which was incredibly graphic, was in black and white. And it was a long time ago. But what's happening now in 4K, high definition, live, is without question a Holocaust. And some of these things that have been coming, and there's been nothing that the terrorists have done that's anything beyond the most horrifying actions taken against Jews since the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. And one thing that's changed with these attacks on Israel, for the first time in my memory, when Israel has been under attack, when Israel has had murders and kidnappings of its people, for the very first time, with some exceptions, like Andrea Mitchell and MSNBC, we'll deal with her later, but with a couple of exceptions, the media for the first time, the mainstream corporate media for the first time, are on the side of Israel, which is highly unusual. And I know a lot of you out there haven't been following these stories as long as some others out there, and you don't realize that because you look at what's going on and you say, well, how could the media, how could Democrats, how could liberals not always be on the side of Israel? They're not. But what's changed in this is the reporting. It started with, you know, because reporting's different now. You know, prior to this, this is the first major action against Israel in the age of the modern media. I've been talking about this all week. And the terrorist made a tragic mistake after tragic mistake. Now, the terrorists are operating like they normally operate. This is what they do. What defines terrorism are many things, but one of them is attacks and murders and atrocities against civilians. But the way that the terrorists are behaving in Israel is standard for terrorists. The difference is we're seeing it. We never saw this stuff before. I was talking yesterday about the video at the music festival where the attacks and the murders began and the kidnappings began, and they attacked a music festival where almost everyone in attendance was filming on their phones because they were making Instagram reels or TikToks because they were having a good time at this music event with the DJ all the way through the early hours of the morning. So all of those atrocities were caught, which we've never seen before. In the past, when Israel has been attacked, we hear about it later. We see the aftermath. We hear people talk about it. This time we're seeing it. And this young lady reporter who broke the story of the murders, the brutal murders and beheadings of the 40 babies, that is going viral across the planet. In the past, these stories wouldn't make it because the New York Times, CNN, and all the rest of these people would not report it. Even CNN, CNN, can you believe? And I'm going to play a bit of CNN in a little bit, but even CNN are making Holocaust comparisons to what's happening in this attack. And this is so unusual. I've never seen anything like this. In fact, today's Wednesday. We have not gotten all week long, if you've listened to the calls that have come in on the show all week long, and I started this on the weekend. I was live streaming on the weekend on my YouTube channel, taking live calls about this too. We haven't heard from any liberals, any Democrats, the usual suspects of anti-Semites calling in, taking the other side against Israel. Have you noticed that? And the reason they haven't is they haven't been issued their anti-Israeli talking points because they haven't sent out the anti-Israeli talking points. Because these atrocities are in everyone's face, and the Israeli-hating mainstream corporate media can't hide it. In fact, the squad is about to be canceled. Fox News had a confrontation with Tlaib yesterday, and she really showed how sick and twisted she is. No doubt about it. So I'm going to go through all of these things on today's program. And I also want to hear from you, your thoughts, your analysis, your emotional reaction to what you're seeing. It's tough. It's tough. This is some of the worst I've ever seen. It's certainly 9/11 level. And, you know, what's happened here is the military action is going to take place any second by Israel. They're just getting everything organized for a major military move. And I know they're doing a lot of actions now and launching rockets ahead of the invasion. They're ready to go in. They're just doing some bombing first. What's going to happen when this military action is done, right? That's about to take place. Yeah, there's a shock and awe going on right now. But when the military action, for the most part, is over, that Israel's about to take place after the shock and awe campaign, the world has changed forever over this. And I don't know how many people realize this yet. Having these people like Tlaib and Ilhan Omar being sympathetic to terrorists, those days are over. In fact, even after 9/11, we didn't have almost 100% agreement in this country, in the media, among Democrats against the terrorists. Democrats were defending the terrorists. the hijackers after 9/11. Bill Clinton was one of them. Mario Cuomo was another. Those are the two high profile, but there were others. Yeah. So we've never had the left against the terrorists like this before. And this is going to forever change. In fact, the Palestinian cause, which is obviously the extermination of Jews, the Palestinian cause, because of this and these actions, there's a very good chance their entire cause is going to evaporate and be over from this point forward. Because people, for the first time, I think a lot of liberals, for the first time, are seeing what they're really like. I don't think a lot of people, in particular on the left, well, even me, I follow this. I'm not on the left, but to see these actions, people haven't seen this before. We saw the beheadings in Afghanistan, but that was 20 years ago, and a lot of people don't have a memory of it, or it's so long ago it was kind of forgotten. But it wasn't babies. They weren't kidnapped. They didn't have rape gangs going through music festivals, kidnapping pretty girls, which seems to be one of their primary targets, if you noticed. So if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our first break of the day. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back with the report about the babies.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa.
And just go right into it. I mean, my goodness, guys. I mean, do you guys agree with me that we've never had the media, except for Andrea Mitchell, we've never had the media against the terrorists like this before? This is brand new. It's a good thing, but it's not usually like this. In fact, this is the first time that the Israeli army is taking a major action like this, and they've had the support of the liberal media. It's never happened before that I remember. They're always against the Israelis. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is some of the worst things we've ever seen. No, these aren't militants. These aren't soldiers. They're just killers. They're serial killers. Oh, this is the most evil. This is like Satan on earth doing these things. It really, truly is. Mm-hmm. The media are always on against Israel when these actions happen, but not this time. All right, here we go.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
I'm just going to come back cold with that story.
On 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
David, it's hard to even explain exactly just the mass casualties that happened right here. In fact, the Israeli military says they still don't have a clear number, but I'm talking to some of the soldiers and they say what they've witnessed as they've been walking through these different houses, these different communities, babies, their heads cut off. That's what they said. Gunned down, families completely gunned down in their beds. You can see some of these soldiers right now comforting each other. Many of them reserves who jumped into action, leaving their own families behind as well, not knowing the sheer horror that they were about to come to. They say they've never experienced anything like this. This is nothing that anyone could have even imagined when you're walking through here. Baby cribs thrown to the side. Doors thrown wide open. Still some Israeli bodies still here because the fighting in this community just ended just recently. So many of these troops are still going house to house, door to door. It's taken them sometimes 30 minutes, 40 minutes, because many of these houses are also still have grenades in them, booby traps. In fact, as we're trying to get closer to some of these scenes, we're being told, no, get back from some of these Israeli military, because there are still grenades in the area. I want us to keep walking through, continue to kind of see the destruction that's happening on the ground here. Even something as simple as a soccer net just left to the side here, as people were with their families playing. I see in the distance more bodies being covered, all the while as they're covering these Israeli bodies, trying to evacuate everyone else from the territory, taking all of the casualties out of here. It's also littered with the bodies of terrorists. So we're hearing from one of the lead commanders here, it was anywhere from maybe 70 armed terrorists who made their way here from the Gaza border fence, which is less than a quarter of a mile away. And as I said, the atrocities that they committed, violence with guns, with grenades, with knives, targeting these innocent civilians inside their homes. So for the soldiers here, it's a very, very difficult scene for them as well. As I said, leaving their families behind, but they say they will continue to be here, continue to kill every terrorist who is in the area. You can hear we're very, very close to the Gaza Strip, so we continue to hear artillery firing overhead as well. Even as we were giving this tour, we were told to get on the ground and take cover, because you're so close to the strip right now, you don't even get the red alert. You actually hear the boom before you're even told to get to the ground. So this is the reality, and this is what all of these soldiers, you can see, none of them expecting this, but all of them being here, ready for the fight nonetheless, and proud to fight for their country is what I'm hearing as well. And so that's why they want to show the press, they want to show these very, very difficult images, David, but they want everyone out here because they want to see and show exactly what is happening here on the ground.
Okay, that is some of the most upsetting reporting, I think maybe the most upsetting reporting I've seen since 9/11 at Ground Zero, when it was happening. And that young lady reporter, her life is in major danger. She is a target like no one else is. And in fact, she is the target number one, because her story that she reported on there has gone viral everywhere across the planet Earth. And it has turned the world. Even people who normally would be on the side of the terrorist, it has turned them against him. Her name, I don't know too much about her. I know nothing about her other than this story. Her name's Nicole Zedek. She's with I-24 News, and I'm not even sure what that is. But that is some powerful, powerful reporting. So that story came out yesterday. And then Tlaib in Congress, who has the Palestinian flag still up outside her office the last time I heard. It's in such bad, terrible taste. Fox News, they sent a reporter to go and ask Tlaib about, did you guys see this? Because I know a lot of you, like me, have boycotted Fox News. I saw this on social media this morning. And they go to Tlaib in the halls of Congress, and they ask Tlaib about the babies that were murdered. She won't comment. And the reporter, I'm going to play you the audio, but I want to describe it to you. The reporter from Fox follows Tlaib. This is how bad it is. The squad usually run around like, like they just own the planet. Now the squad's being questioned, but the Fox News reporter follows Tlaib for quite some time, all the way until she gets into an elevator that's for members of Congress only. She never says a word to Tlaib. She looks at the reporter and gives a look of like, disgust at the reporter, not of the atrocities. And then there's an unknown if you've seen the video and you've been able to identify who this is, as she gets into the elevator for members of Congress only, Tlaib, there's a black woman who for a second I thought might have been Maxine Waters, but I don't know. She looked a little younger than Maxine Waters, but a black woman who I'm assuming is another member of Congress put her arm around Tlaib to console Tlaib. You know, there's a lot of things that happen, okay, and that there's debate on. There's two sides. There's no two sides when it comes to murdering babies, beheading babies. There's no other side to that. And Tlaib is so deep with the enemies of civilization as we know it, she cannot even condemn the beheading of babies by Palestinian terrorists. So let me play this for you. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take calls, but I want to play this. So this is the Fox News reporter, what I just described with Tlaib.
Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads. Congresswoman, do you have a comment on Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads?
She's saying, Congresswoman, do you have a comment on Palestinians cutting off babies' heads? She won't come out against cutting off the heads of babies.
Nothing to say about Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads. Do you condone what Hamas has done, chopping off babies' heads, burning children alive, raping women in the street? You have no comment about children's heads being chopped off? Congressman, why do you have a Palestinian flag outside your office if you do not condone what Hamas terrorists have done to Israel? Do Israeli lives not matter to you?
Okay, I want to know who the Congresswoman who consoled Tlaib in the elevator is. If anyone knows, let me know. Jim Jordan, you know, they're doing the vote for Speaker today. Jim Jordan said yesterday, and it's not certain it's going to be Jim Jordan. Things are up in the air. But Jim Jordan said his first action as Speaker would be to support Israel. I believe the first action of whoever our new Speaker is, they're going to be a Republican, should be removed from Congress. Tlaib should be expelled from Congress. If you can't come out against the beheading of babies, you're unfit to serve in the United States House of Representatives. And I don't even think that should be a controversial debate. It should be the first action by the new Republican Speaker of the House is to remove Tlaib. I've never seen anything like this, guys. I just haven't. When you can't come out against the beheading of babies, and you're either really deep with the terrorists, with the enemy, or you're so mentally ill that you're not competent enough to serve. So I'm calling on our new Speaker, whoever they are today, for their first action to be to take a vote to remove Tlaib from the House of Representatives. Now, I want to hear your thoughts on that and everything else I brought up. Those of you on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. this forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Unsettled weather pattern beginning today. It's going to heat up, become more humid, and we'll see widespread.
Now, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Would removing Tlaib? Any thoughts on that?
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. The Palm Beaches, the major expressways are...
I mean, we're just in territory that is hard to understand and comprehend. I mean, it's just words don't even describe her reaction. Does anyone know who that congresswoman was that was consoling Tlaib in the elevator?
Open daily for cash games, high hands, mega bad beat jackpots, and big money tournaments like the...
I don't know about treason, but that's like a crime against humanity.
Also play your favorite casino.
What took place, and she can't condemn that?
Hold'em or three-card poker with just a $5 minimum, 7 days a week. For more information, go to ppkennelclub.com.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. I just want to say thank you for Dr. Appleton because I'm someone that took my it took 3 hours to go down there to
I mean, come on.
my mom walked straighter than she ever walked in her life, and I just want to say thank you.
There's nothing more pure and innocent than a baby.
Such a willing vessel to talk about Dr. Appleton.
That's amazing. So you heard me in Orlando talking about Dr. Apple. You drove to South Florida with your mother to see him.
Yes, my mom is awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no more pills.
No, I've never seen anything. Her reaction, and there's one point where Tlaib looks back at the reporter and she goes, like she's annoyed.
That's amazing. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have
Yeah.
instant access to a health
She should be removed from Congress. I don't mean just some, not some mild censure. She should be removed from. My goodness, a week ago they were talking about removing Matt Gaetz because he stood up to McCarthy. So don't tell me that they can't remove Tlaib, who's so far gone that she can't condemn the murder and beheadings of 40 innocent babies. I wish there was something else that we could talk about today. I mean, this is upsetting as hell. I mean, I just...
Are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
To celebrate all my special occasions, Cafe Chardonnay is the place that I choose. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Dining at Cafe Chardonnay turns any ordinary evening into a special occasion. For over 30 years, owners Frank and Gigi have created a restaurant with a unique atmosphere, elegant yet warm and friendly. Cafe Chardonnay features today's fresh.
It's too late. You don't have, she wouldn't condemn the beheading of 40 babies. Anything she says from this point is damage control.
Provide the highest quality ingredients, and Chef Frank's talent combines these fresh ingredients to create delicious, novel, exciting dishes.
Every evening a celebration at Cafe Chardonnay, located in Palm Beach Gardens on the corner of PGA Boulevard and Military Trail. Call 561-627-2662. 561-627-2662. Online at cafechardonnay.com.
And be sure to enjoy a glass of wine from Cafe Chardonnay, legendary wine cellar.
Are you living your best life? Are you feeling the way you know you should be? This is John, CFO at Lighthouse Medical Center. Our hormone optimization therapy programs have helped so many people get back to feeling the way they did in their 20s. They're full of energy after a long day, reduced their risk of heart disease, sexual
This is complete insanity.
sleeping the way they should without disturbances, and reducing their symptoms of aging. Our all-natural hormone optimization therapy is precise, easy, and effective from day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most
I've never seen a member of Congress so far gone as that. I really haven't. All right, we're coming back.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm going to go right to the phones, talking about this massacre of the babies that were beheaded, Tlaib's refusal to condemn it. And I'm calling on our new Republican speaker, whoever they are today, to make the first action of our new Congress to expel Tlaib. Anything she says from this point is damage control. I've never seen such a disgusting member of Congress before. You know, we've always had lowlives in Congress, but even the biggest lowlife we've ever had would condemn the beheading of 40 innocent babies. And by the way, all babies are innocent, regardless of what CRT says. And she should be out. You know, and for those that say, oh, you can't do that. A week and a half ago, they were talking about, the Republicans were talking about removing Matt Gaetz because he stood up to Kevin McCarthy. You mean to tell me they can't remove Tlaib? It should happen today. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
Beyond the tears for those innocent families and babies being butchered by terrorists, beyond the anger that we all fear, is the retaliation that this country needs to back Israel, because this was funded, organized, and executed by the state leading.
Well, we are. I mean, you know, Joe Biden's forced into. We are. The reason that the aircraft carrier is, and when, you know, there's an aircraft carrier, there's a whole fleet group. They're over there for intelligence purposes. We are monitoring everything that's going on in Gaza right now through our group of ships over there around the carrier. The carrier's a front. We're not going to do airstrikes or have troops on the ground in Israel or in Gaza, but we've got our fleet group over there listening to every phone conversation and every street conversation and everything else. It's a spy ship operation we have over there, not a carrier fleet group. So as crazy as it sounds, even with this corrupt, senile old coot and the adult diapers, things are so bad, they have to help.
But I believe that Iran funded and organized, and they know Iranians were in there murdering Israelis. And this was, Iran is the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world, and they need to suffer for this. And I believe that Israel has the right to go in there and take out military and infrastructure, take the power grid out, and make those people suffer. Israel and America are the only two countries that by all means possible protect the...
Yeah, and by the way, I hope with the electricity and everything, they're shutting off. And, you know, being without water or electricity, not a lot of people have experienced that. And I've experienced it a little bit after hurricanes. And it doesn't take long for life to get rough. But they need to shut down the internet, which I haven't heard anything about them shutting down the internet or cell phones in Gaza.
You take up communication, and that does a lot of damage to military.
Well, these terrorists are probably doing their whole organization through Snapchat.
Right, and I'm not worried, but I believe that this was the first step or the first wave of terrorism against Israel, unless Israel and America does a strategic, huge attack on Iran. They need to stop that, cut the head off, because that's where the money and everything's coming from. These people...
Well, the money's coming from us. The money comes from us to the Palestinians and Iran, and then they fund the terrorists.
And remember, Obama gave them a plane load of cash, and Biden did. I believe it's just Obama helping his brothers over there again. That's what that's all about.
I mean, what are your thoughts on Tlaib? I mean, my goodness, she can't even condemn the beheadings of innocent babies.
Where's the Republicans, Brian, immediately calling for her, at least her censorship, and then get a vote to kick her out of Congress?
That's right. I mean, I don't know if I'm the first person to call for that. I haven't heard anybody else say that yet. But that should be done, and it should be done. We should vote for our speaker, get it done, stop with this pettiness, get over their man crush on Kevin McCarthy, make Jim Jordan the speaker. Let's move on, okay? We all like Scalise. He's got cancer, okay? I mean, he can't, and he's he can't do it. And the first action needs to immediately remove Tlaib. And by the way, not just expel her, but give lifetime bans to everyone that works in her office from ever working for someone in Congress, because that office is an office of spies. It's an office of that's a spy operation in Tlaib's. I know she's not the only one, okay? I understand that, but yesterday her refusal she was annoyed at the reporter for asking the question. I mean, who cannot condemn the murdering of babies?
Why isn't the Senate and the House make an emergency convening immediately, condoning this atrocity happening to Israel and saying we stand with Israel? And that's what this, if Trump was in there, he'd had everybody sitting on their butts and stood up and told the American people in Israel, we are going to stand with Israel and we're going to defend them. And that's the kind of president we need. And there's only one that's going to do it, and that's Trump.
No, you're right. You're right. All right, Jeff from Maine, take care. Thanks for the call. Great call from Jeff. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Yeah, Renee.
Yeah, well, you racists have no credibility whatsoever. How many Palestinian babies have been killed, or do you even care?
I don't think any baby should. I don't think any baby should be killed. But this moral, this you're another fallacy of your argument. I mean, all I hear is anger in your voice. What are your thoughts about the 40 babies who were beheaded?
First of all, you have no proof. Second of all, the Israelis have no business being there.
All right, I'm not going to talk to Renee. Let me tell you, and Steve may disagree with me on this. Okay, Steve may disagree with me on this. We'll find out later. This isn't a time for some debate game. I'm not interested in talking to anti-Semites. I'm not interested in talking to someone who cannot condemn the murder of babies. This is not there are not two sides to this issue. Okay? This is the Holocaust. Rabbi David on Monday said it on this show around this time when he called in, and he was right. And there is proof. Right? We've got the reporter. We've got the soldiers backing her up. And then I want to play this audio. This was shocking to me that this was on CNN. Anderson Cooper last night had the CNN reporter who's over there on the front lines, and this is CNN. CNN never meant a terrorist they didn't support until this. Call us on hold, stand by. CNN, they interview an Israeli general who says that he felt like General Eisenhower when General Eisenhower went to the concentration camps when Germany fell. And when CNN is reporting this, that's it. That's even liberals, that's your source. It's so bad that even CNN has to take the side of Israel. And believe me, that goes against their norm. This is CNN on Anderson Cooper's show last night. They got their man on the field in Israel, on the front line, interviewing the Israeli general.
And the general who was in charge of that took us in there today, and he told us the reason he wanted to bring journalists in there. He said the horror that I found, the massacres that I found, the brutality that I found. He said it reminded me of General Eisenhower being taken and shown the death camps after World War II. And he said Eisenhower said, "Get the journalists in here." And the general told me that's what I told my commanders. He said, "Get the journalists in here." So we were taken in today to see the aftermath. But what he had to say about that brutality that's being described as ISIS-style executions, he said very clearly that Hamas was cutting the heads off of people. Listen to his words.
What I saw, hundreds of terrorists with full arms, full gear, with all the equipment and all the ability to make a massacre, go from apartment to apartment, from room to room, and kill babies, mothers, fathers in their bedrooms.
You were telling me some of them, when you went in, their hands were tied
Some
together.
of them lock themselves in the protection rooms with the bomb, the house, and people run out with their children and they kill them. They kill babies in the front of their parents and then kill the parents. They kill parents, and we found babies in between the dogs and the family that killed before him. He cut head of the people. And
This is the first time. I mean, when did you secure this area here? It was late last night.
So we fight here, wave after wave of terrorists until last night.
Wow, that's the Israeli general. He says they're killing the babies in front of the parents, and then they kill the parents. Now, we got to take our last break of this first hour. Those of you on hold, stand by. I also want to hear your thoughts, not just on these atrocities that we're talking about that are very difficult. I want to hear your thoughts on doing something that goes against what the format of this show is. We welcome disagreement. But talking to that monster, Renee from Harlem, who can't condemn the beheading of the babies, and he's angry at me for talking about it, okay? Would I talk to an Al-Qaeda supporter on September 12th or 13th? I don't think so. And that's what that was the moral equivalent of. But you know, Black Lives Matter has been flying Palestinian flags all week. All right, we have two openings on the board. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Now, let me ask you guys, do you know Kim Iverson on YouTube? Kim Iverson. She's a conservative, right? Have you heard of her? She's a conservative, right? She's taken the side against Israel. I thought she was a conservative. She questions she doesn't believe the baby story. She had a whole show yesterday saying she doesn't believe the baby story. I was in shock. I don't know who she is. I've heard of her before. I knew nothing about her. I've never followed her. I don't know anything about her. I assume she was a conservative, though. Yeah. Well, you don't need to know her. I'm just wondering if anyone's familiar with her. Well, who wants to believe it? But it happened. By the way, guys, don't forget, click that link in the chat that I pinned. Get your free copy of Joe Thomas's book, The Retirement Know-It-All. It's completely free. Just click that link and let him know that you support the show. And if you're retired or planning on retiring at any time in the future, maybe today or in 10 years, you want to get this book. And he's a financial planner. He's been doing it for over 30 years. And he's also offering free phone consultations. No matter where you're located in America, he can help you. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. You can call that number to get the book as well, or just click that link in the chat. There's also a link in the description of the video for the free book. But you can schedule that free phone consultation by giving him a call.
Muscle twitching. Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. Always on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We are just a couple days away from the Medicare open enrollment period, and Medicare open enrollment is the only time of year that you can make changes to your existing Medicare policy. You want to call Debbie at I Will Advisors. Not only does she handle Steve's Medicare each and every year, and so many of you in this audience, but they've been with us, her family, since 1994, helping our listeners each and every year with their Medicare. And I've been talking about this miracle that she did for Steve. Steve had a medication that cost $2,000 a month, more than an ounce of gold. Imagine, more than an ounce of gold every month. Wasn't covered by his insurance. He called Debbie at I Will Advisors. She made a couple calls, got it taken care of, and it's now covered by his insurance. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, she can help you. She does great work. Her number, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. And if you call early and you get an answer machine, leave a message. They will call you back. 954-753-8080. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Oh, we're going to get it to, yes. Jay from Jersey.
I'm not in the mood to go through back and forth. This isn't the time. I just have an opinion, and I don't have no crazy talk this morning. I'm not in the mood for it.
Well, are you going to condemn the beheading of the 40 Jewish babies?
Of course I'm going to condemn it. I'm going to condemn all of it. It's crazy. I've never seen all of this. People just being shot down and murdered and just stolen from their families.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like any of this, but my opinion is...
But, wait, slow down. Oh, no, excuse me. No, this is a conversation. This isn't a soapbox, okay? You were doing well. You were doing so well to show that you're a human, unlike Renee from Harlem, and then you put a but. When they're kidnapping pretty young girls and cutting the heads off of babies, you're against that. There's no but. Why is there a but?
I don't like seeing anyone killed. I'm looking at people being slaughtered all over the TVs. We're not used to seeing this. I'm from the old age. I'm a little older than you. So we didn't see things like this. We just heard about things like this. We didn't get to see people being killed.
Why is Black Lives Matter flying Palestinian flags this week?
Why? See, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be serious, and you want to go to something.
I am. No, it's the same.
And I'm talking about the fact that people right now are being murdered and killed, and we shouldn't be. I hate seeing this. I don't like this. I don't like nobody's child. Do you know I have nieces and nephews? Could you imagine if that was your family?
God, no.
Killed
No.
both sides. Your child is laying in the street, blown to pieces.
No.
Your child's head is cut off. This is barbaric. I can't even look at the news right now. I can't look at it no longer. I've watched it, and I've never seen stuff like this before.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing this. This is so wrong. And it's even worse for us to watch it. I don't believe how you could just take a child. I just imagine my little nephew. How could I just live knowing that somebody just cut his head off or just blew him up? How do I live with a situation like that when my family's just been murdered and all my people are being taken away? No, I'm not for any of this on both sides. I don't like seeing any.
No, there aren't two sides. There's only no. There's not two sides. No. Because the Palestinian terrorist did these. It's not just terrorists. This was a well planned. Listen. Slow down. You're doing well. This was a well planned, very high tech military operation. This isn't just excuse me. This isn't just some gang who got together and said, we're going to do this. This was an organization that did this inside of Gaza. How the hell do you train flying these ultralight aircraft like this with 2 men on them with rifles and everything, which throws the weight off and all of this, without everyone in Gaza knowing what the heck's going on?
Yes, this was planned months and months and months ago, and they rehearsed and practiced and everything. So yes, of course, I understand that, and they need to suffer for it.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Thank you for the call and showing that you are a decent human, unlike Renee from Harlem.
And not argue with me. This is not the time.
No, it's not. You're doing good today. All right, and I hope you're an inspiration to Renee from Harlem. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Rabbi David.
Hey, Rabbi.
Morning. So a couple of points, and I did some research as well, but regarding Rashida Tlaib, I actually think they should investigate whether or not she had any knowledge of this attack prior to it happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should investigate her phone lines. They should investigate her emails. They should find out which organization she's in contact with, domestically and internationally.
And remember, Ilhan Omar's family are in the Muslim Brotherhood. But Tlaib is PLO. There's and her entire staff should be investigated. That's a spy center, not a congressional office.
Yeah. I think they would certainly uncover some terrible understanding. I would hate to think anybody else in the United States knew about this prior to it happening. That would be interesting to find out. Also regarding what's happening over there. I've spoken to certain sources, and when we hear about the word rape, people throw out that word. Apparently, at this dance music festival, when they came there, they systematically raped, shot, beheaded women. Went from one to the next to the next. It is, you wonder what more can we hear that was disgusting and terrible. This wasn't like one or two people. There were literally thousands of terrorists that came in, and they raped, shot, beheaded, went from one to another. It's hard, God forbid someone relative of somebody's listening, but we're here in America, maybe they're not listening, but this is what went on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from people that discovered afterwards, went to the site, to see and speak to people about what took place. And yes, babies were beheaded, shot, killed. This is what we're talking about. Now, as far as what's going to happen next, you have ground troops, as you know, ready to go into Gaza. It's not just an easy thing. They're not going to go through one door. They're going to go, break down walls and just go in. And once that happens, you're already seeing smattering of it. Lebanon and Syria, okay, you're going to get Hezbollah coming through there. You're going to have some Taliban that's been making its way there. And they're going to start on those fronts. Very difficult. Israel's going to have it from all sides. And these aren't, Israel has like 150,000, troops and then a few 100,000 reservists, that are really not, fight.
But you know what? You know what, Rabbi? I think you'll agree with me on this. I've never seen the mainstream media on Israel's side anytime Israel has ever taken a military action before. And I was talking yesterday, after 9/11, even the Muslim world, including Gaddafi, condemned the attacks because it was so brutal. And I'm seeing a similar thing beginning now. I'm seeing people support Israel and condemn atrocities against Jews that normally support these terrorists.
Brian, wait a week. What's going to happen now is when Israel has to go in, they're already starting. They're blowing up buildings, emptying buildings. They're announcing, go out of this building, and Israel blows it up. Okay, but once they go in there, there's going to be Arabs that are being killed. Okay, and there's going to come a point that our wonderful Biden, who said yesterday, I'm behind you and backing you, he's going to be yelling at Netanyahu to stop. Okay, he's going to be yelling at him to stop for two reasons. And listen carefully, everyone. One is that Saudi is going to tell him that we're going to cut off and have an oil embargo unless you have him stop. And two is Turkey is going to tell him, get your U.S. Air Force bases out of Turkey unless you tell him to stop. So we just haven't seen Israel. When Israel's down, when the Jew is down and being kicked, everybody sympathizes. But when he stands up and fights back for himself, that's when.
Well, this is what I'm seeing here. I mean, I was talking, and we only have a minute left, Rabbi, but I'm sorry. This is like when the Nazis went through the ghetto. I mean, what I'm seeing, I've never seen anything like this. No one has seen anything like this in color. The Holocaust was all in black and white, so there's people a little bit removed from it. This is in 4K definition color. And I'm seeing world opinion on Israel's side from people that hate Jews like a passion. And they're condemning it. They're condemning what's going on. This is CNN has never been on the side of Israel. Ever.
I agree. But give it a week.
You're probably right.
It's going to go on for a while.
Oh, yes.
I feel bad about it, but that's going to happen. That's what's going to happen because Israel's going to finally fight back, and there'll be dead Arabs.
Oh, yes.
And the world will start condemning and saying.
Well, I know. The Israelis bombed. They bombed the university where they're doing all the weapons making, and I was surprised that the media supported that. I was in shock. All right, Rabbi, I gotta run. That's right. I got to run for the break. Thanks for the call, and feel free to call back at any time. All right? We'll be right back after our top of the hour break.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robes Studio. Entered recently, call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Unsettled weather pattern beginning today. It's going to heat up, become more humid, and we'll see widespread, strong, even isolated severe storms later this afternoon. Daytime highs surging into the upper 80s. I'm WPD Upcoming Guide First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now,
Oh, boy.
traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach.
Crazy times, people. I mean, even Jay from Jersey. I was in shock at Jay from Jersey.
I don't usually watch the big news outlets
Yeah.
like CNN and stuff like that, but did they usually support the Ukraine war?
Who?
Like CNN and
Oh, of
stuff like
course,
that?
they love that one.
So I think if they show their Ukraine war, they're like, oh, well, we got to support the Israel.
That's true.
Attacks because it's gonna make that, maybe they want to try to get viewers. So it's like, oh, we have to support both.
That's a good point. Probably wouldn't surprise me.
I feel like they're
Yeah.
trying to just get their
It's possible. He said maybe CNN is supporting Israel because they're so pro-Ukraine that if they don't support Israel, the Ukraine support, will fall off. Yeah, I could see that. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I live stream every day of the week. And anytime I live stream, I take live calls. I also upload my podcast here and a lot of other videos. Our news is so freaking liberal at the top of the hour. It's like PLO news here at the top of the hour. I'm trapped in Gaza. Give me a freaking break. Mm.
Another 20 are believed to be among Hamas hostages. The death toll so far, at least 1,200 in Israel and over 900 in Gaza. This is ABC News.
Business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com. Get ready for the workday. On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back. I'm just going to go straight to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay.
Hey, Boca, what's up?
Well, along with this Renee thing, this poor guy, I mean, he's just mentally ill, I guess. Anybody that thinks killing anybody is okay, let alone children, is just mentally defective.
That's right.
The problem, there's so much going on in the world right now. We got conflict in every nation, continent. But it's like you're talking about Black Lives Matter, nine flags. If you don't see Black Lives Matter in a black neighborhood, you see it in a neighborhood of whites trying to change their minds on things.
Maybe, yeah.
There's just so much. But let's just say if Black Lives Matter marched down through the bottoms of Chicago with the Palestine flag, do you think they'd really care?
Probably not. Yeah, and the thing is, one of the callers, I think it was Jay from Jersey, who was somewhat okay today. He said the other side. There's no two sides. When we were dealing with the Nazis, there were no two sides to that. What we're seeing now is what the Nazis did. The real Nazis, not these guys with their tattoos hanging out on a bridge yelling at Laura Loomer in Orlando. These are like real Nazis.
No, absolutely. But the other thing is that on everything going on around us in America, we still have 12,000 people a day coming over our border. We still have 3,000 people killed in every major city every year. I moved from Chicago down to Fort Lauderdale to get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have our own destruction in this country, and no one's really trying to help. Let's help ourselves a little bit. I don't mean with welfare and structurally and spiritually.
Well, we need a real leader, not some corrupt, immoral, disgusting pervert who takes bribes. I mean, we've just got to listen. All these problems in the world, from Israel to the southern border and everything in between, are a direct result of actions taken by Joe Biden. We have an evil leader right now. And, listen, whenever there's a president, half the country don't like him. This guy's different. He's evil. Evil. And everything that's happening is a direct result of actions he's taken.
Or lack of actions.
No, well, I tell you, in Israel, he gave $6 billion to Iran, and he cut off our oil production, and When Trump talked about this week. When Trump left office, oil was $40 a barrel because we were producing so much. Now it's about 100. So Iran and Russia have so much money now because they're oil-producing countries, and oil has gone up $60 a barrel in the last 2.5 years. And that's how they're funding all of this, plus the $6 billion that Biden gave them. So it's not lack of, it's direct actions. And sometimes no action is an action in itself to let things happen too. So no, the southern border is, they stopped the wall. They stopped it, and that's it. You know, I mean, this is, no, it's Joe Biden's actions are causing all of this, including the 40 babies who were beheaded.
Well, it's like in New York, where the Palestinians and the Israelites are arguing and fighting. And, you know, this is in America.
Yeah, and I want to tell people, well, yeah. And I want to tell you guys, there have been and there will be more demonstrations for and against Israel here in South Florida. Do not go to any of them. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. There are anti-Israeli Palestinian supporters here in South Florida that are terrifying, and you don't want to go to them. It's dangerous to go. And if you ignore my advice, please do not take your children. And I'm talking about pro-Israeli demonstrations as well, because those are they'll be targeted. It's dangerous. Do not go to any rallies or street corners in support of Israel or any. It's dangerous. And do not do a counter protest at the Palestinian events. That's dangerous too.
One last thing, just God bless us all.
Yeah, we need it. Good call. Thank you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Ronnie Vick. How you doing?
All right, Ronnie.
Oh, man, it's just really been heavy on my mind and my heart. You know, I really don't care for this guy that calls in with stupidity all the time. But what people have to understand, you took the words right out my mouth. It starts from don't build a house from the top down. You start from the foundation, the bottom. And we have the most weakest foundation you can ever dream of. Joe Biden, his cabinet, and his peers should be held for treason. They have committed it against America and its citizens and its allies. How can you say that babies are a threat to anyone? First of all, I want to break this down real quick. The words are spoken, suffer the little children unto me and forbid them not, for such is theirs is the kingdom of heaven. When those words were spoken, that said everything. So I'm going to say, the life you live on this earth right now, it's not over with. When you pass over, things really start. Also, I want to let America know, Democrats, you voted for something, you have no knowledge of what you have voted for. I really feel come towards the end or the beginning of 2024, we are going to truly see the same things that are going on in other countries right here. Because they have came across the border. There's no question about it. They are here. The cells have been setting up shop, and what they have been watching on TV, they're now going to experience it in real life. So they need to pat themselves on.
Yeah.
Not know who the enemy is.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, you know, when I cut off, and I don't know, Steve may disagree with me on this or not, and I'll throw this out to the audience. I just don't think this is a time to. This is not a two-sided debate, and I just don't think it's appropriate to talk to people who are what they call the other side. There is no other side. You know, there is no other side to this. And
Tlaib and all of them, the squad, all of them should be put on a.
All right, okay, all right. That's just a beat too long on that one. All right. Now, I want to ask you this question while I'm waiting for the delay to re-engage. Are you retired? Or are you planning on retiring? Maybe you're planning on retiring Friday, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years. Maybe you plan on never being fully retired, but semi-retired, which is probably how my life will turn out one day. I'll be semi-retired. I can't imagine being completely retired. Well, when you do that, you need a plan of action and a plan that works. And that's not something you could do on your own. You know, last week, or was it the week before, Tucker interviewed Bill O'Reilly, and he says most middle-class people need 3 things that they don't have: a lawyer they can trust, a doctor they can trust, and a financial planner they can trust. And that's what you're going to find in Joe Thomas. He's president of Retirement Network Advisors, which is South Florida's premier retirement experts, and they have been for over 20 years. He's seen it all. He's a professional that you can trust. And he has 2 free offers for you if you're a listener to our radio station. One, he's offering his book for free, The Retirement Know-It-All. I've read this book. It is a short, easy read that is filled with lots of great, actionable advice. If you go to his website, jupiterjoe.com, and click on the book link, you can get Jupiter Joe Thomas's book, The Retirement Know-It-All, for free. But he's also offering free phone consultations. Imagine a free phone consultation with a financial expert. That's what you're going to get, and it's going to be with him, Joe Thomas. I'm going to give you his number. You can call. You can get the free book by calling too, but you can schedule your free phone consultation. Oh yeah, no matter where you're located in the United States, Joe Thomas can help. Here's your number that you want to call him. All right, you ready? 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. Or go to jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
This is John from Lighthouse Medical Center, CFO and Director of Neuropathy. We want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year. It's our 75th anniversary, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. You have numbness, burning, pain, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance issues, please come see us and let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them, and we look forward to doing that.
Rough day, guys.
75 years. We don't just treat
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys, okay? You'll love this show, I promise you. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And everyone else who's already subbed, make sure you like the video, because that gets this video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel.
754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Now you can rediscover paradise with Margaritaville at Sea, the only cruise line offering sailings from the Port of Palm Beach to Grand Bahama Island. Relish a cheeseburger in paradise at the Open Air Burger Bar. Relax your senses at the St. Somewhere Spa. Or revitalize the night with live musical performances and refreshing Caribbean breezes. From pickleball to piano bar and everything in between. Come see for yourself why guests are loving the newly refreshed Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Go to margaritavilleatsea.com to learn more and get a great deal on your next Bahamas cruise.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Hey guys, it's Samantha Ramnine from Car Accident Referral Services. After 911, we want you guys calling cars at 954-249-5858. Let's put more money into your pocket. 5858. We want to put more money into your pockets. We want to treat you like family. So when you want the experience and you want the best, you call Car Accident Referral Services. Let us help you from step to step, and we will make sure that we guide you the right way. The insurance companies have attorneys defending them. Why don't you guys have attorneys defending you? Give us a call, 954-249-5858.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FM.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. Steve with us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning. How are you?
Rough day.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Oh, the terrorists are killing babies and families. I mean, that's, what's going on.
Open with our audience through the phones. We're going to take some calls. We're not going to have, there's going to be zero tolerance today for being a smartass and joking around. So,
yeah.
Before you open your mouth.
Yep.
Because you won't get a second chance today.
No.
Wait a minute, let me start with you, Brian. Bring me up to date. We have not spoken today. My programming of my television was bizarre when I got up. I don't know what the hell it was. I was watching, but it was clearly not just another...
Well... Oh, really? I don't know what that is. I don't know what channel you had it on. Well, what I want to do is I've got two pieces of audio that I want to play, and that I played in the first hour. But I think the first one is the report that's gone global of this lady reporter that broke the story about the murders of the 40 babies in Israel. And I want to play that first again, and then this Fox News channel exchange with Tlaib. I want to play after. So let's first do this. This is the story about, and this is, by the way, this is the lady reporter with the helmet on and the flak vest. She's the one who broke the story. She was at the home, at the building with the Israeli army as they had found the 40 beheaded Israeli babies.
It's hard to even explain exactly just the mass casualties that happened right here. In fact, the Israeli military says they still don't have a clear number, but I'm talking to some of the soldiers and they say what they've witnessed as they've been walking through these different houses, these different communities, babies, their heads cut off. That's what they said. Gunned down, families completely gunned down in their beds. You can see some of these soldiers right now comforting each other. Many of them reserves who jumped into action, leaving their own families behind as well, not knowing the sheer horror that they were about to come to. They say they've never experienced anything like this. This is nothing that anyone could have even imagined when you're walking through here. Baby cribs thrown to the side. Doors thrown wide open. Still some Israeli bodies still here because the fighting in this community just ended just recently. So many of these troops are still going house to house, door to door. It's taken them sometimes 30 minutes, 40 minutes because many of these houses are also still have grenades in them, booby traps. In fact, as we're trying to get closer to some of these scenes, we're being told, no, get back from some of these Israeli military because there are still grenades in the area. I want us to keep walking through, continue to kind of see the destruction that's happening on the ground here. Even something as simple as a soccer net just left to the side here as people were with their families playing. I see in the distance more bodies being covered. All the while as they're covering these Israeli bodies trying to evacuate everyone else from the territory, taking all the casualties out of here. It's also littered with the bodies of terrorists. So we're hearing from one of the lead commanders here. It was anywhere from maybe 70 armed terrorists who made their way here from the Gaza border fence, which is less than a quarter of a mile away. And as I said, the atrocities that they committed, violence with guns, with grenades, with knives, targeting these innocent civilians inside their homes. So for the soldiers here, it's a very, very difficult scene for them as well. As I said, leaving their families behind, but they say they will continue to be here, continue to kill every terrorist who is in the area. You can hear we're very, very close to the Gaza Strip, so we continue to hear artillery firing overhead as well. Even as we were giving this tour, we were told to get on the ground and take cover because you're so close to the strip right now, you don't even get the red alert. You actually hear the boom before you're even told to get to the ground. So this is the reality, and this is what all of these soldiers, you can see, none of them expecting this, but all of them being here, ready for the fight nonetheless, and proud to fight for their country is what I'm hearing as well. And so that's why they want to show the press, they want to show these very, very difficult images, David, but they want everyone out here because they want to see and show exactly what is happening here on the ground.
Okay, now this reporter, she's embedded with the Israeli soldiers that found the babies.
Time that was recorded?
Sometime yesterday afternoon. Yeah. Well, it was live. She went live. No, it's in Israel. They went into the Palestinians when they came into Israel, are breaking into homes of Israelis and murdering the entire families. They're murdering the babies in front of the parents and then killing the parents. And they found 40 babies so far that have been beheaded. And these soldiers she's embedded with, by the way, not that it would be any easier for a regular soldier, but these are reservists who 2 or 3 days ago were like a waiter in a restaurant or a bartender or an accountant or something, and now here they are witnessing the greatest war crimes against Jews since the Holocaust. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. And as bad as Fox News has been, they did something great yesterday, and they deserve credit. Did you see the exchange with the Fox News reporter and Tlaib? Oh my goodness. Let me see how long this is, if I can play it before the break or not. I'm not sure that I can. Yes, okay. Tlaib, you know, who's Palestinian, and she's got the Palestinian flag outside her office. Her mother lives in the West Bank, I think. Well, I'm calling on her to be removed from Congress. The Fox News, after this story broke about the 40 beheaded babies, the Fox News reporter in Congress went to her and followed her down the halls of Congress, asking her response to the 40 Israeli babies who were found beheaded. And this is that exchange.
Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads. Congresswoman, do you have a comment on Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads? Do you have nothing to say about Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads? Do you condone what Hamas has done, chopping off babies' heads, burning children alive, raping women in the street? You have no comment about children's heads being chopped off? Congressman, why do you have a Palestinian flag outside your office if you do not condone what Hamas terrorists have done to Israel? Do Israeli lives not matter to you?
Okay, Tlaib, do Israeli lives not matter to you? Now, Tlaib didn't utter a sentence during this long walk. She escaped through an elevator at the end that is for members of Congress only. Another congresswoman who I thought was Maxine Waters, but look, I don't think it was now. I was not able to identify her. A black congresswoman went and put her arm around Tlaib and consoled her after this exchange. Tlaib is so far gone and so deep with the Palestinians that she can't condemn the beheading of innocent babies. And today we're going to have our vote for the new speaker. Jim Jordan said that if he becomes speaker, his first action will be to support Israel. And I think the first action of our new speaker, whoever they are, should be to remove Tlaib from Congress. Last week they were talking about the Republicans. We're talking about removing Matt Gaetz because he stood up to Kevin McCarthy. If they can remove Gaetz for standing up to McCarthy, they can remove Tlaib for refusing to stand up against the murder of 40 babies. It is the time. Steve, it is the time. You know, her office is not a congressional office. It's a spy center, okay, for the people that are doing these atrocities. And I've never opinion has turned against both her and Ilhan Omar. But Tlaib is the one who had this exchange yesterday, and she's got the Palestinian flag outside her office. I'm calling on her to be removed from Congress over this. I've never seen, and this is saying a lot, I've never seen a member of Congress disgust me so much as that exchange I just shared with you. And that's saying a lot because members of Congress are sleazy in general. And there have been a lot of stories over the years. She's not one of us. She's one of them. She's not an American, other than by her citizenship papers. She's a spy. She's like.
This is it. I mean, I won't ask them.
How much more can they do, Steve? They cut the head off some 40 babies.
I understand that, but isn't this a time to try to get everybody to cool it down and not?
Well, I think it would do a lot to cool people down, removing her, and she can take her Palestinian flag with her. All right, listen, we're late for the break. Let me give the number, though.
Any contact with the outside world? For example, I was on the phone this morning with my daughter in London, and all is quiet in London, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, well.
But anything that's unusual, just give us a call. Let us know what's going on. We're kind of outlets of the world. We'll be back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Whatever you think of Donald Trump and however you feel about him, does not mean that the policies that he adopted on our border, on Israel's border, and in...
Good morning, everybody. Unsettled weather pattern beginning today. It's going to heat up, become more humid, and we'll see widespread strong, even isolated severe storms later this afternoon. Daytime highs surging into the upper 80s. I'm WPVF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Good news for the Palm Beach commute. I-95 Missile Park main crash frame moving up to full speed between Boca Raton and Jupiter. We still have disabled vehicles blocking the right shoulder along I-95 heading north on Yamato Road. I-95 southbound and also 95 southbound approaching Lincoln Boulevard. Further south in Broward County, good news now. Earlier crash cleared. Turnpike southbound before Sunrise Boulevard. This report is sponsored by Macy's. Join Macy's and Hispanic Federation to support student growth and mentoring now during Hispanic Heritage Month. Donate online or where you check out at any Macy's store. Learn more at Macy's.com/purpose. That's shop now.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out to the newly renovated poker room at PBKC, open daily for cash games, high hands, mega bad beat jackpots, and big money tournaments like the Moneymaker Tour. Coming back October 25th,
Ilhan Omar.
November the 6th. You can
Collective
also play
Soul.
your favorite casino table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum, 7 days a week. For more information, go to ppkennelclub.com.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including if you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need
performances and refreshing Caribbean breezes. From pickleball to piano bar and everything in between. Come see for yourself why guests are loving the newly refreshed Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Go to margaritavillatSea.com to learn more and get a great deal on your next Bahamas cruise.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Any lab test now in Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any lab test now in Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now in Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now at Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Get ready for an extraordinary night with the multi-talented Sean Cassidy at Amaturo Theater on November 27th. From his chart-topping hits to his acclaimed TV series like American Gothic, Sean Cassidy has captivated audiences worldwide. Witness his magic on stage, featuring a blend of chart-topping hits and storytelling. Sean Cassidy live November 27th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show. Celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve is here. I've got some more audio that I want to share. The things in Israel that are being done to the Jews are, I don't think things are worse than have happened before. I think it's the first time we've seen it, right? I think, Steve, all this stuff's in the media, and we're seeing things that we only heard about before, right? And public opinion is turning against them. And Fox News Channel, and I got another clip from Fox News. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number, if you'd like to call in, and we want to hear all your thoughts on everything that's going on, is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Things are so bad, even Brit Hume is praising Trump. This is Brit Hume on Fox News last night. Listen to this.
Whatever you think of Donald Trump and however you feel about him, does not mean that the policies that he adopted on our border, on Israel's border, and in the Middle East were not preferable to the mess we've got now. And you see, Tony Blinken, and maybe U.S. intelligence doesn't back up what the Wall Street Journal is reporting, but I believe it, what the Wall Street Journal is reporting, and it means that not only do we have to recalibrate our attitude toward Israelis and Palestinians, but we need to stop the fantasy that we can do business with an honorable Islamic regime. There is no such thing.
Well, Brit Hume, you and Fox News are a large part the reason we don't have Trump in the White House right now. Brit Hume, jerk. Now he's missing Trump. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, it's Ben from Pompano.
Hey Ben.
So I want to call and mention. Hey Steve, I want to call and mention several things. First off, I think Rabbi David is absolutely right. I think sympathy is going to wane. I'm already starting to see it in some of these, CNN and reports where. Yeah, they've been doing good coverage now on TV, but if you go to their website, they're already doing sympathy pieces for the Palestinian people, which is the old routine they usually do when Israel gets into conflict. So, and that's exactly what.
Well, I don't know. I hear what you're saying on CNN, and I'm gonna play a little bit later a clip that I played in the first hour. Anderson Cooper last night on CNN interviewed the Israeli general who's gone into houses. He says they're killing the babies in front of the parents, then killing the parents, and he went into some detail. There's two different sets of people on CNN's television version and the website. The people that do the website are doing the knee-jerk Harvard pro-terrorist angle, and I don't think things have caught up to them yet. There is, other than Andrea Mitchell, which I'll play that in a little bit, The mainstream media have been on the side of Israel, including CNN, and they never are. They hate Jews, and the atrocities are so bad they have to bite their tongue on their anti-Semitism.
Okay, well, that's good to hear because I usually don't, I'm younger, I get all my stuff on the internet, and a lot of it is, it's kind of scary how quickly they're going back to the old ways of doing things. On Rashida Tlaib, I mean, this is the end result of the ideology of the squad. What happened over the weekend in Israel, the absolute barbarism, is the end result of their views and policies. And the thing about anti-Semitism is they never reveal themselves to be anti-Semites. I don't know if you guys saw this viral clip going around of David Horowitz speaking at I think it was a school in San Diego, where he questioned this woman, he cornered her.
Okay, yeah.
She wanted to exterminate.
Okay, here's the thing, okay? And this is a very difficult thing for people to understand, and I don't really 100% get it myself. People that are racist, okay, don't think they're racist. They just think that they see reality. If they have a problem. Anti-Semites don't view themselves, they don't go around and saying, I hate the Jews and I'm an anti-Semite. They think that they just see reality. And the problem with Tlaib in this exchange, and notice I'm leaving Ilhan Omar out of it. I know what her problems are too, but she's not the one who refused to condemn the murders and beheadings of 40 babies. It was Tlaib with her Palestinian flag outside her office. With Tlaib, we have a people that this is the result of not Americanizing immigrants. And we have people in positions of power that are not Americanized. They're not us. They're from a different culture. They're not from Western culture. They're not Americans, other than what their citizenship papers tell them. And Tlaib in particular, there's a video, I have not seen this in many years, I'm sure it's online. She was an activist, a Palestinian activist, before she ran for Congress, and she was forcibly removed from a Trump rally in 2015, and you got to see what Tlaib is really like. She is nuts. She was fighting with the authorities. You've never seen her like this. She's wicked, that's correct.
There's a pal in Dearborn, Michigan, which I'm not sure. I think it was her district, not sure. But it looked like a Nuremberg rally. There was a whole stadium packed full of Palestinians, absolutely frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, but look at what's happened, okay? And you're younger, you don't. I've been saying all week long, in particular today, the military, Israel's about ready to go in. They're bombing Gaza right now. They're doing a shock and awe, and they're going to go in with the ground forces. This is the first time that the Israelis have taken a military action where they have the support of the mainstream corporate media in this country, because the atrocities are so visible to us. We've never seen the atrocities before. We've heard people talk about them. You would see a guy who says, my family was killed and they killed a baby. But now we're seeing it. And we're seeing it in real time. It's not being able to be filtered. And what are we seeing, right? New York apologized for allowing the Palestinian protest. Harvard has condemned but it's Harvard. They don't condemn this stuff. They welcome it. Harvard condemned what happened there this week. We're in a new place when it comes to Israel being under attack. In the past, when Jews are being kidnapped and killed and Israel's being attacked, CNN and Harvard and New York City are like, bring it on. This is what they deserve because they did these things to the poor Palestinians. And other than Andrea Mitchell, who's an old fossil, no one in the mainstream American media is taking anything but the right side, even if they don't want to. So this is unheard of in what's happening right now.
Yeah, well, I hope it continues. And for the people listening, I will say this, the Palestinians, they dance in the streets when they heard about this. I just read an article today that said they cheered when they heard about how the Hamas did what they did, but then they became extremely frightful because they realized the extent of it, And they weren't frightful because of how disgusting it was. They were frightful because they knew the retaliation would be epic.
They're frightful because they got caught. They went in, murdered, kidnapped, and raped people, and they did it all while it was being filmed on iPhones. Okay, and they got caught.
The Palestinians, there's a few, but by and large, they absolutely hate Israelis. They hate Jews, and I completely support.
Well, good. Well, listen, I got to run for a break. Thank you for the call. Those of you on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Steve is here. We'll take our break, last break of this hour. We'll come back with more of your calls. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It is a toll-free call no matter where you are listening to us. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. We'll break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here with a question. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. I wish we had them for everyone, but the first 40 true oldies channel listeners to call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. Here you see your home right from the palm of your hand. And that's not all. Sloman's going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 true oldies channel listeners to dial 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's now for this limited time offer, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
If you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Darren Lestovsky, DC.
Boy, oh boy, guys.
Dr. Lestovsky, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage
Rough one.
to the legs and feet.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms are numbness, tingling.
Make sure you've all liked the video. If you've not already liked it, please like. And if you're new, subscribe. And everyone who's already subbed, make sure you're subbed, if you don't mind. I have a podcast coming later today.
25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Space is limited. Call 561-287-3255. 561-287-3255.
The free screening is a $149 value. The patient and the person responsible for payment has the right to refuse to pay, cancel payment for any other service, examination, or treatment that is performed as a result of and within 72 hours of responding to the advertisement for the free, discounted fee, or reduced.
We're coming back shortly, guys. I'll go back to the phones when we're back.
Restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
We take on social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. The phones are very busy. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian Craig. I got an email last night from Mike Lindell, and this is his lawyers. that have been representing him in these huge lawsuits went to the federal judge and asked to be removed from representing him because he can't afford to pay them anymore. You know what he's gone through? Listen to this. He sent me this email, and some of this you may know, and some of you may have forgotten. All the big box stores like Walmart and Kohl's won't carry MyPillow products. He's under 5 audits. American Express recently cut his credit line, and that's what his company used to do a lot of their shipping through FedEx and others. He was raided by the FBI at the fast food drive-thru when they took his cell phone. His bank canceled him. Remember this? What this guy has been going through. Oh, it's never ending, Steve. He's going through what Trump's going through. It's just not as high profile. You know, they got things against him all over the place because he stands up for Trump and MAGA. And he sent me 2 new copy. Okay, I got this email from him late in the day yesterday, last night, and he sent me 2 new advertising copy scripts and asking people to help him by taking advantage of this. And he has an early Christmas MyPillow slipper sale going on, and I have these slippers. You have these slippers. You know, the regular price for the MyPillow My Slippers is $139.98, but for a very limited time, Mike Lindell is offering them for $100 off, just $39.98. They have a bunch of new sizes in. Big and wider, new colors. There's new sizes that are big and wide for the guys. They have smaller sizes too that are new for women and children, but they're $100 off, just $39.98. I have the My Slippers too. They are spectacular. Now the My Slippers are good for indoor and outdoor wear. In fact, you wore them on the cruise the whole time. Even at dinner, you have the charcoal ones, and nobody knew you were wearing slippers because they're nice shoes. They also have foam and impact gel to prevent your foot fatigue. That's why they're so comfortable. And, of course, they're made with quality leather suede. So $100 off, just $39.98 with our promo code KANE at checkout. KANE at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Those make great Christmas presents, too. All right, you want to go? Yeah. Yep. Saving the world from evil.
Whatever it is, it's very scary. Look, I can only tell you, I have kids and grandkids strewn about the planet, and I can only tell you what I tell them in these situations. Don't be a hero. Don't be on the cutting edge of everything. Don't let your natural curiosity get the best of you. This is a good time, a good period to spend as much time in your home as possible. I don't want to be alarmist, but I'm a big believer in the saying, better safe than sorry. The world will get by without your active participation in terms of, hanging around with crowds and demonstrations and stuff like that.
Do not go to demonstrations.
Stay at home. Don't demonstrate. If you want to express yourself, call the Steve Kane Show each morning. We're here, and we're more than happy to share with we know. And
yeah, and I want to tell you guys, and then we're going to go to the phones because the phones are very busy. We have a large Jewish population here in South Florida. We may have more Jews in South Florida than are in Israel because, there's so many retirees here. And there have been over the weekend, and there'll be more probably coming up this weekend, of pro-Israel demonstrations. People might go stand on a street corner somewhere in Boca in Fort Lauderdale. Do not go. There are very bad, evil, terrorist-supporting people here in South Florida that will go to those things, and hopefully nothing will happen. Probably nothing will happen, but you don't want to take a chance. Do not go to any street corners or demonstrations, even candlelight vigils for Israel. It's not safe. And if you do not take my advice, please, I beg you, if you go, which you should not do not take your kids. There are some really bad dudes here, more than you know, in South Florida that target people like that. All right. Oh, yeah. With the senile old coot we got running the country. Absolutely. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Berta again from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Berta.
Hello, Steve. Brian, you were right. I should have never seen anything. I had a video sent from Spain from my sister, and it was horrific. But I wanted to call because more than anything, this is a time that, we need to be alert also in America, because with all this influx of illegal immigrants, we don't know what is under the radar, okay? What they did is something that Israel never expected, never saw this coming. And we also are getting a little bit ignorant, okay? We have people in Congress that could call out jihad if they want. We have to be very careful and very cautious with our words, because honestly, Brian, I've never seen so much passion between two sides in a long time.
Passion or hysteria?
I think it's each one.
Well, wait. When you say passion, there's no. When you say two. Well, hold on. When you say two sides, who's the other side?
Israelites and the Palestinians. They're in the streets across the world. They are forming. Did you see the crowd in Chicago, the Palestinians?
And look what's happened. I was talking to a caller earlier. When New York City came out and apologized for promoting that pro-Palestinian events over the week, that is historic. That's not New York. New York hates Israel, and they came out and did that. That's historic. Harvard.
I saw that, but my concern is that did you see how they were spitting upon each other, Brian? That's why you are right. And Steve is right. This is time to stay here. Do not get involved. These are there's two beliefs that are they call us Christians, okay? I'm a Christian, and they call me radical, and according to government stance. But one thing I wanted to make a point of, everything that's been happening, Trump said it. Trump said this would happen. And we have to think really, really hard. He needs to get back in there and straighten up and help us straighten all this out. Because he foresaw this. I don't know how, but he saw
this. He's been striking by his absence in the last couple of days, which probably is a good thing.
He said, well, he gave a speech in New Hampshire a couple days ago, and he said he has to be careful what he says because of the Logan Act. Right? Yeah. So he's lying low a little bit because of until the hostilities calm down.
But I'm talking about his past speeches. It could be that there could be disarray in the Middle East. We're going to have a huge inflation. Our gas is going to go. Everything he said was true, Brian. American people need to wake up, because this could happen to our land. Okay? And what I saw, it was not humane. What I saw was not humane. I don't know how anybody could just go ahead and behead a little 7-year-old boy. And you're right, Brian. I never want to see anything like that again.
Rabbi David, don't watch any of those videos. Rabbi David called in the first hour, and he says there's new reporting, and he knows firsthand at that music festival they were raping the women, then killing them and beheading them.
That's what my sister said, and of course, like I told you, her news, the broadcasting there is much rawer than here. They show the actual.
There's no need to see it. There's no need to see that. I know Ben Shapiro. I keep hearing Ben Shapiro is bragging. I've seen what the public hasn't seen. There's no need to see that, okay? There's no need to see any of that. People send me stuff. There's no need to see it.
Shapiro is getting into it really hot and passionate with Tate, because Tate is Palestinian and supporting the Palestinians.
Oh, he shouldn't give Andrew Tate the time of day. This is not the time to duel with some lunatic like Andrew Tate. I don't even know why. Give me a break, Andrew Tate. You should not give him the time of day with what's going on. This is not a time. This is not a time to, when I had Renee from Harlem, I blew him right off the phones. This is not a time to have debates for hits, clicks, and views with terrorist supporters. So if Ben Shapiro is debating Andrew Tate or going back and forth, that's not appropriate.
What concerns me is this: when Trump was elected in 2016, I have a video on my Facebook, and I probably send it to you. It's a video of Omar speaking so highly of Hamas.
Yes.
Okay, supporting Hamas, and then at that time I was living in Miami, and I put it all over Facebook, and I say this is what they had in Congress. Now she's still in Congress. This is scary. She's still in Congress. And she supports Hamas, and so does Tlaib.
Well, if you want to see the positive side of that, Omar is much more a burden for the bad guys than the good guys.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Those are two spy centers. I don't think so, Steve.
I think I'm going to send it to you, Brian. It's in my Facebook. I put it.
No, I believe you. Listen, I gotta run, but thank you for the call. Okay, now listen. There's two openings on the board at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Don't send me any videos. And you guys out there, you don't need to see the videos of the atrocities. Okay, you don't need. Over the years, people have sent me things that I mistakenly or watched, and you cannot unsee that stuff. And once you see it, you'll never forget about it. There's no need to see any of that, okay? And you don't want to see it. You don't. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. As I say, there's two openings on the board at 1-888-GO-CANE-1 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, is here. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll break and be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured
Be right back.
recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Unsettled weather pattern beginning today. It's going to heat up, become more humid, and we'll see widespread, strong, even isolated severe storms later this afternoon. Daytime highs surging into the upper 80s. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Before I start to the morning, we're going to have a crash off to the right shoulder that was just blocking the right lane on the Turnpike southbound after Atlantic Avenue. We expect some slowdowns on the approach to the scene. A multi-vehicle crash right now on 45th Street at Australian Avenue. And further south in Broward County, a crash 441 at Bailey Road. This report is sponsored by Tri-County Metals. Not sure which metal roofing panel is best for your project? Try Tri-County Metals free panel selector tool on their website at TriCountyMetals.com. It will help you make your decision, and it's free and easy at TriCountyMetals.com. That's traffic. There's more.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime at PBKC. Get your tickets now for exciting live events in the paddock. Enjoy dinner and a show with the Rat Pack now on Friday, October 20th. Let It Be Ultimate Tribute to the Beatles on November 17th. And Chris McDonald's Merry Christmas Baby December 15th. Then get ready to laugh out loud with comedy shows with Andrew Dice Clay doing 2 shows, Jackie Marlin and Jimmy Fallon all in December. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Love the outdoors and the open road? Don't miss RV Out. Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Hosted by Giant Recreation World second generation owner and CEO Larry McNamara and his co-host Dwayne Adams. RV Hour, Saturday mornings 10 a.m. right here on the True Oldies channel.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News Now, I'm Tom Rivers. The World Health Organization and Doctors Without Borders are calling for a humanitarian corridor in Gaza. Palestinian civilians trapped by Israel's incessant retaliatory bombing.
Overnight, Israeli fighter jets reportedly struck hundreds of new targets across Gaza, reducing buildings to rubble in Hamas-ruled territory, sealing Gaza off as Israeli
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? What do you want? Okay. All right. Those of you who want to hold, stand by. We're going right to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard in Pamela.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, I'm going to try to be brief. I'm a little upset right now. The rage is in me. I'm Jewish. What happened to those babies is this has built up such a rage in me. Anyway, I was in this morning in a parking lot at Publix, and before I got to the parking lot, this guy, a white guy, a little taller than me, younger, starts going on. I hope they finished Hitler's job.
Come on.
Cut more. I couldn't even hear him.
This was in Pompano? Oh my goodness.
What happened? I missed what he said.
Well, okay. Let's walk through. I know you're upset, so let's walk through this. My goodness. Okay. I just let me recap, then I want to get some more details. Okay. With the caller is a Jewish guy. He was confronted in a parking lot by a white guy who said we need to finish the Holocaust. Hitler's job. Okay, we need to finish Hitler's job. Did he come up to you personally, or was he just in the parking lot at Publix yelling this out in general?
No, I made the mistake of going up to him and cursing everything I could think of. You're a coward, And then I said, "Here, you want to cut me?" And he takes out this little tiny knife, not even 3 inches, And I'm still standing there. And I said, "Hold on a second." And I went to my car. I have in a canvas bag a Browning 9mm.
Oh, whoa.
I just said, I got it, and I walked back. I said, "Go ahead."
Wait a second. Slow down. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm so glad you called. So he was he standing in the parking lot with like some anti-Israeli, pro-Palestinian paraphernalia?
No, it's just some obnoxious jerk.
Okay, so he was just yelling, "We need to finish Hitler's job," and he pulled a knife on you.
No. He said, "I made the mistake." This is what I mean. I know I would get arrested, I think. I went up to him, and my car was nearby. I said, "Well, you wanted to cut my throat? I'm not a baby."
Oh, my God.
Don't,
yeah.
He didn't do anything. So I said, "Well, hold on a second. I'm going to go put my groceries in the car." But I got a canvas bag out of the car. And I walked back to him. So any court of law is going to know I provoked him. And I said, "You still want to cut me? You coward."
Don't ever do that again. Let me tell you, don't ever do that again and leave your gun at home. You're too angry to be walking around with a pistol. Leave your gun at home. Do not take your gun out. You don't need your gun. Leave your gun. Do not take your gun out of your house again. You're not in the right head. And what you did was very bad.
I know. Well, he just took a step back. And,
why does it suffice? Nothing happened, and
yeah,
and with your willpower to not do stupid things, you escaped unscathed, it appears.
Yeah, thank you for your call. Oh, see what I'm telling? No. You're on the air. Wow. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right. Yeah. Well, who could follow up with that call, Steve? So I guess maybe that's one of the most awful calls. Not the worst, but it's one of the. That's got to be in the top 10 most awful calls we've ever gotten. I believe the guy. Yeah, I believe the guy. Did you hear his voice? He was shaking. He's still worked up. CNN has done something I've never seen them do before. They've taken the side of Israel, and I was watching Anderson Cooper last night, and they had the CNN correspondent that's in Israel interview. I played this in the first hour, but this is so powerful. He interviewed the Israeli general that's leading the troops into the areas that were hit in Israel by the terrorist. And I'm going to play you the interview, but the Israeli general says that he feels like what General Eisenhower must have felt like when they took him to the camps when they liberated Germany. And he talks about how they're coming into these homes and killing the babies in front of the parents and then killing the parents. And for CNN to report something like this is unheard of. They're always pro-terrorist, CNN. Remember, CNN, after 9/11, on September 12th, told their reporters not to show any signs that could be deemed as pro-American in their reporting because we want to be fair and balanced and not. We're not an American news outlet. We're an international news outlet, and we don't want viewers to think we're biased. Keep in mind, I'm talking about September 12th, 2001. That's CNN. So CNN has never been a terrorist. They weren't running interference for until today. So this is Anderson Cooper's last night, the Israeli general being interviewed.
The general who was in charge of that took us in there today, and he told us the reason he wanted to bring journalists in there. He said the horror that I found, the massacres that I found, the brutality that I found. He said it reminded me of General Eisenhower being taken and shown the death camps after World War II. And he said Eisenhower said, "Get the journalists in here." And the general told me that's what I told my commanders. He said, "Get the journalists in here." So we were taken in today to see the aftermath. But what he had to say about that brutality that's being described as ISIS-style executions, he said very clearly that Hamas was cutting the heads off of people. Listen to his words.
What I saw, hundreds of terrorists with full arm, full gear, with all the equipment and all the ability to make a massacre. Go from apartment to apartment, from room to room and kill babies, mothers, fathers in their bedrooms.
You were telling me some of them, when you went in, their hands were tied
Some
together.
of them lock themselves in the protection rooms of the bomb, the house, and people run out with their children and they kill them. They kill babies in the front of their parents and then kill the parents. They kill parents and we found babies between the dogs and the family that killed before him. They cut head of the people. And
this is the first time. I mean, when did you secure this area here? It was late last night.
So we fight here wave after wave of terrorists until last night.
Okay, that's the Israeli general, and and this and what they're going to try to say is that the Israelis are staging this. Okay, and I've already seen some indications of this in some of the lunatic fringe media, but the media not only are being taken there by the Israeli army, they're being taken there right after the discoveries. As soon as it's clear, they're taking them in there to show them before anybody's been taken out. And the press, Steve, if you see some of these reporters that are reporting, that are with the advanced Israeli army, I've never seen these reporters. These are combat reporters, and a lot of them are veteran combat reporters, and they're having breakdowns. I've not seen anything like this before. The only thing close to this kind of reporting may have been what went on during Vietnam, Steve, when they were showing all the atrocities in Vietnam on American television. But in Vietnam, because of the technology, whatever you saw on TV was days ago. What we're seeing out of Israel is in real time, not 5 days ago, okay, like in Vietnam. And it's also many more news outlets. It's not just Walter Cronkite, okay? This is many more outlets, different persuasions, international media, and there's a consensus that of these atrocities. So it's every one of these atrocities, do not let them tell you there's no proof of the babies. because multiple reporters from multiple countries, multiple news outlets, from different political persuasions are all reporting that it's true and that they've seen it. And that girl reporter that first reported it, she's a target right now, and she really should be pulled out, because she's the first one to report it. It went viral all over the international media, and immediately the normally I wouldn't be surprised if Al Jazeera is on the side of Israel during this. It's that big of a transformation. Listen, we're going to take our first break of this hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve's here. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. We want to hear your thoughts, your reactions, your emotions on all of this. And it's a rough time. We'll be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Now you can rediscover paradise with Margaritaville at Sea, the only cruise line offering sailings in the port of Palm Beach to Grand Bahama Island. Relish a cheeseburger in paradise at the open-air burger bar. Relax your senses at the St. Somewhere Spa. Or revitalize the night with live
Where is that article?
and refreshing Caribbean breezes. From pickleball to piano bar and everything in between. Come see for yourself why guests are loving the newly refreshed Margaritaville at Sea paradise. Go to margaritavilleatsea.com to learn more.
My mind just went blank. What's the name of Andrea Mitchell's husband? Is it Alan Greenspan? Is that her? Greenspan, yeah.
Liberal Al, you're not invited, but the rest of you are. We leave April 27th on board the Celebrity Beyond, the flagship of celebrity cruises. We're going to the ABC Islands, Curacao, Bonaire, and Aruba. We have short
Yeah, Alan Greenspan.
report, and I'll be on them all with you. We'll have dinner together every night, private cocktail parties. We'll go to Broadway shows together. Till the clubs closed every night.
Yeah.
Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot and book your reservation. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779.
Hi, this is Gabriel with Florida Cash Home Buyers, and we pay cash for houses. If you want to sell your home fast and easy without a realtor and save thousands in commissions and closing costs, call me at 561-570-7070. You can sell us your home in as little as 3 days or on your time frame. We can even pay you a cash advance before the closing, and we guarantee to make you a fair and honest offer. Our home buying process is simple, and we can make you a cash offer over the phone or in person, whatever works for you. Do you have a home that needs a lot of work? Did you inherit a house you don't want? No problem. We can buy your home no matter the condition or situation. You don't need to clean or fix anything, and there's no commissions or closing costs. If you want to sell your home fast and easy, we'll buy it. Call us today for a free offer. 561-570-7070. That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West El Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet him, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
David, it's hard to even explain exactly just the mass casualties that happened right here. In fact, the Israeli military says they still don't have a clear number, but I'm talking to some of the soldiers and they say what they've witnessed as they've been walking through these different houses, these different communities, babies, their heads cut off. That's what they said. Gunned down, families completely gunned down in their beds. You can see some of these soldiers right now comforting each other. Many of them reserves who jumped into action, leaving their own families behind as well, not knowing the sheer horror that they were about to come to. They say they've never experienced anything like this. This is nothing that anyone could have even imagined when you're walking through here. Baby cribs thrown to the side. Doors thrown wide open. Still some Israeli bodies still here because the fighting in this community just ended just recently. So many of these troops are still going house to house, door to door. It's taken them sometimes 30 minutes, 40 minutes because many of these houses are also still have grenades in them, booby traps. In fact, as we're trying to get closer to some of these scenes, we're being told, no, get back from some of these Israeli military because there are still grenades in the area.
Okay, this is the reporter that first reported about the 40 beheaded babies. We're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. My goodness. All right. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? All right. Let's go. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Vicki, and I'm calling from South Carolina.
Hey, Vicki.
This is a solemn day, and I feel exactly like that reporter. This is an atrocity against humankind. This is more than just war. This is pure evil and hatred. It is flabbergasting that there's so many anti-Semitics here in this country that are on the streets propagating propaganda against the Jewish people. And the Christians, I don't know many Christian leaders that have taken a stance.
Well, who are the Christian leaders today? We seem not to have them anymore. They've all died. Who's the Christian leaders in America today?
So they were given an anointing by God, and they are not standing.
We haven't had one in a long time. I mean, like the Pat Robertson's gone, they're all gone. We don't have any anymore.
And that's very, very disheartening because there's no balance.
Mm-hmm.
And this, if you read anything of World War II and the atrocities of the Holocaust, the people are being gaslighted and they're also being set up.
Well, what we're seeing here, you know, listen, the people have said forever, I mean, you know, we've heard this our whole lives, is how could the Holocaust have happened? You're seeing it. You know, you're seeing it. You know, this, where they're finding these dead families and babies are normal developments like the one you live in. Wherever you are in this country, it's like your own little HOA. They're coming into regular neighborhoods and doing this. This is what happened in Poland. And this is, I feel worse today than on September 12th.
If you go to the Bible, it's the ancient hatred of the Islamic world, which the word Islam means submission. And then now we have this new world order spelled backwards.
Yeah. Well, I think you're reading too much into such things. I mean, you know, listen, the Palestinian hatred of Jews is not new. It has nothing to do with the New World Order. It's been around for a long, long time. And we're just seeing it in ways we never saw it before. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah, you're on the air.
Good morning, Steve. Ivy and Broward. Boy, I really didn't want to call in this week.
Wow. Well, you know how the Buddhists sit around, the little kids are all sitting around, they're in their meditation, their eyes are closed, their hands are in a certain way, their legs are crossed, and they're sitting in a certain way. Well, in the Muslim community, especially people from Palestine and certain other places, Syria, they have kids doing the exact same thing, but these kids' eyes are rolling backwards in their head, and they're making funny sounds, and they are going back and forth, rocking in a way. Look at the cell in New York, the protesters. A lot of these people have been indoctrinated since they were also kids. I got beat up once in Germany by 5 Muslims. Okay, I got ran down. I was luckily to walk away with a purple eye. Okay, that's a whole other situation. But it taught me something. It taught me how certain people in this world will lie right in your face. They'll tell you the opposite of what you know did not happen. Went into a store once, made the mistake, and I don't know, much younger. I asked the person running the store there as a cashier as well. I said, "Are you Israeli?" "Israeli? No, Israeli. I don't recognize Israel. They do not exist." And me as just being the customer, I was kind of like taken back because I'm like, well, why are you upset with me? I'm saying it in my mind. Well, why is this person upset? And where did this anger come from? Now, just like people like Tlaib, these women spawn these kids, then they are indoctrinated just like in our country we have them being captured as little babies now with the LGBTQ. And
well, let me get a little focused here. People are talking about, well, what about the civilians in Gaza? Listen, Tlaib is the most prominent Palestinian in the world, right? I mean, she's known. She's a member of the United States House of Representatives. If Tlaib yesterday, even though she would have been lying, if Tlaib would have addressed the media yesterday and condemned the murdering of the babies and the beheadings, that'd be something, but she won't even do that. She won't even do that.
Totally believing in the Quran, but how is it amazing that they only picked one part of the Quran, which is the cruelty, the violence, and the killing and the raping?
You're trying to analyze the thought process of evil people. I mean, you cannot intellectualize anti-Semitism on this level. I mean, we got to run, IB, but thank you for the call. I mean, if you go watch Schindler's List and you see the Nazis in Schindler's List, you can't. They're not grabbing onto some ideological belief and saying, well, they are evil people who want to kill people and destroy people. Okay, and these people that are attacking the Jews in Israel don't believe Jews should be above the ground breathing anywhere, whether you're in Boca or Israel. And that's just the way it is. And trying to intellectualize it, well, they take this passage and that's where they get this from. They don't get it from anywhere other than the evil inside their bodies. I just don't see any rational. Listen, if you're on hold, stand by. We got to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Unsettled weather pattern beginning today. It's going to heat up, become more humid, and we'll see widespread strong, even isolated severe storms later this afternoon. Daytime highs surging into the upper 80s. I'm WPVF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Minor delays right now on the turnpike heading southbound approaching Atlantic Avenue due to a multi-vehicle crash that's still blocking the right shoulder. 45th Street at Australian Avenue, a crash lingers there. I-95 southbound just before Copeland's Road, a crash now clear, but stop-and-go traffic is going back into Deerfield Beach at Southwest 10th Street. The usual delays on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca, also on 95 near Lake Worth Road, also Boynton Beach Boulevard. This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride for the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. That's Traffic on Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out to the newly renovated poker room at PBKC, open daily for cash games, high hands, mega bad beat jackpots, and big money tournaments like the Moneymaker Tour. Coming back October 25th through November the 6th. You can also play your favorite casino table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum, 7 days a week. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane to check out K-A-N-E and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Church Street Garage says this holiday season, remember the less fortunate children in our community and put aside a special gift. Donate it to Toys for Tots and help make the season brighter for a child. This message from Church Street Garage at 320 Southeast Church Street in Stewart, your Mercedes and BMW dealer alternative on the Treasure Coast. Call 772-220-2255 or visit their website at churchstreetgarage.com. Church Street Garage has been proudly serving the community since 1988. They wish everyone a happy holiday season.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingle, clay and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors. At Laporta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter? If you're looking for the best seafood, flown in fresh from Boston, then you have to try Chowderheads. They have daily specials too. Monday is all-you-can-eat mussels with 2 sides for only $22.95, and then Lobster Taco Tuesday for $15.95. Wednesday is Buggeshuck Blue Point oysters and 50% off all wine bottles. On Thursday, enjoy decadent lobster mac and cheese and a side for $24.95. Chowderheads is open 7 days a week and located in the Driftwood Plaza on South US Highway 1 in Jupiter. For reservations or to go, call 561-203-2903. Check out their menu at chowderheadsusa.com.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West El Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings gone. Night sweats gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet them, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet them again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Steve Kane here. Back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian, how are you? Brian, this is very sobering to say the least. Just the atrocities that are taking place. But one of the things that are so troubling is the support that we see and how far radicalized different positions are becoming in the United States. We have people demonstrating in support of Hamas and that on our streets, our higher institutes of learning like Harvard. I think I saw a poll that said the Democratic Party was like 49 to 39 in favor of the Hamas plank in that. I mean, how sick is this? We don't have.
Well, most of those people don't know what they're talking about and have been brainwashed. But Harvard came down on those morons. Yeah. That's never happened before.
Our big, the University of the United States.
And I'm going to tell you, I could be very wrong about this, but I predict Tlaib's under tremendous pressure right now. That exchange with her in the Fox Reporter, where she wouldn't condemn the beheadings of the babies. She's in big trouble with that. She's in big trouble.
Squad, her and AOC and the whole bunch of them.
But she's the one who was asked about the babies and wouldn't say anything. Not AOC or Omar. And yeah.
Is her flag still flying outside the office there?
The Palestinian flag, yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's just obscene. We don't see these type of people I see in the Republican Party at all.
See well, we've got our own, but the thing about it is, after 9/11, the enemies of this country that attacked us used our love of diversity against us, and have slipped a lot of people in, like Ilhan Omar and Tlaib. And I was talking to, I think it was you the other day, when President Trump took out the Iranian general that was in charge of all the terrorism, he didn't inform Congress. And I'm of the opinion he didn't inform Congress because they knew that Omar and Tlaib would tell the Iranians before the attack that it was coming. Okay?
I got to throw one thing out. Jake Sullivan, who's the security advisor to Biden, 2 days before this came, said, gee, it's so quiet, I didn't have to spend much time on it.
Yeah, he's a
really?
major jerk. I can't believe
Yes,
it.
he is. Yes.
Yeah, he should be fired.
This whole administration is loaded with these type of guys.
Well, but it's a whole thing we haven't seen. We're still reeling with the, I don't know what to call it, the drama, the gestalt, whatever it is, of these events. And they, of course, taking the head off babies will get you every time. But,
oh, my God.
No, I mean, I understand why people are going nuts over this thing. But the bottom line is, there are a lot of crazies out there now. Now throw into the mix what has been missing from all the discussions that you've heard over the last 2 days. What's the one name you haven't heard? I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry?
I say I'll tell you.
The level of the atrocities in that is just, I mean, my God.
Donald Trump. Haven't heard one word of it. I was getting rumors from, among other people, my producer, that Donald Trump was going to, boy, did that sound good to me, have Donald, ride in on a white horse and straighten everything out. And don't you think he couldn't have done it, too, if he made such a move? But
well, I think we made so many disastrous moves, including the $6 billion and being weak in the Middle East. We're the ones.
But now, as we sit here this morning, what is Donald as the process unfolds? What is going to be Donald's role here? He's not going to evidently, Brian. If you're giving up on the.
Well, whoever the speaker is going to be his hand-picked person. It's probably going to be Jim Jordan, who he has control over. So while it may not be Donald Trump in name, whoever it is will be a figurehead of Donald Trump.
The one person that could straighten things out real fast, in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, is Donald Trump.
Because we have a bunch of rhinos in the House that are colluding, and this is happening right now, by the way. Let me tell you. Right now, there's a bunch of rhinos in the House colluding with Kevin McCarthy, who's very effeminate. I've never really heard him speak too much. He's very effeminate. They're colluding with the Democrats to make him speaker again, Kevin McCarthy. And so we've got a lot of problems. We've got a lot of traitors in the Republican Party. But I'd like to hear Jim Jordan come out today and talk about removing Ilhan Omar for her reaction yesterday.
See the latest poll on Trump's website?
No.
It was an astounding poll that came out.
Oh, on True Social? Oh, look.
They had Donald at 61%.
Oh, yeah. I can believe it.
And I can understand why. You get scared to death watching this stuff, and you want somebody in charge who's in charge.
Well, there is nobody in charge right now. It's just a total disaster. Do you know if Donald Trump is speaking at the Club 47 tonight?
Yes, I've been told that. Yes, and I have heard that there's. I'm not going to say who, but I've heard there's a special guest.
Oh, okay. I'm sure Right Side at least will broadcast that.
Yeah. Because I have to be here early tomorrow. I cannot be there tonight as much as I would like to. I was invited. I got the poll that you're talking about. It's on Trump's Truth Social. And it's the Morning Consult, and it's the Republican primary poll is what it is. Trump is at 61. Second place is Ron DeSantis at 12. So President Trump and that, by the way, DeSantis is in second place. So President Trump has a 49-point lead in that poll.
Has Israel ever had a bigger support than Donald Trump?
I don't know. I doubt it. But Israel has never had support with the media like they have right now. I was talking at the top of the show. Israel's military ground action that they're about to take. This is the first time the Israeli army has gone into combat with the support of the mainstream corporate media because the atrocities are too well known. You know, the atrocities are always there, but the media hide them. And because, we talk a lot about the new media versus the traditional corporate media, the corporate traditional media have lost control of the narrative. And what we're seeing now is the Palestinian movement. This is the beginning of the end of it forever, because they've turned the world against them so much with what they've done in the last 4 days or 5 days now.
I don't know if this is correct. Is Israel bringing in 900,000 troops on the ground for it?
I've heard that number. I didn't know they had that many.
I didn't either, but I thought maybe it would be a third of that. Wow.
What we're going to start to see are Jews from around the world going back to help and volunteer, which we haven't seen since the Gulf War.
No, we haven't. I won't get into some prophetic stuff, but this is an inflection point we witnessed today, and I'm sorry over
this. It is. I don't. Yeah. Well, Steve, it's a military action. They got to be organized. They're doing a shock and awe campaign now with bombing and rockets into Gaza, and taking out key centers, and then they'll go in with the army. You just can't say let's go in. They've got to be organized.
They also have to watch that northern border too, just in case.
But you know what? I asked this of someone the other day. I think it was Rabbi David. Have the Israelis written off the hostages? And what happened to that girl on the motorcycle?
I don't know.
No follow-up on that.
No. I mean, this just makes things so much more complicated trying to get the hostages out. And again, I hate to say, what are we going to do if they start videotaping, execution of the hostages?
Well, I would imagine, that the reason I keep hearing about electricity and water. I don't hear about cell phone, and I don't hear about internet. And I think the reason that is the Israelis are probably tracking the terrorists through their cell phones and their internet usage. They're probably all over that. But to me, it seems like they've written the hostages off.
They said we don't negotiate, and it makes things so much more difficult. You hope to God they can get them out, but Israel lost a lot of their top special ops guys. I heard it at that festival they had, and I'm sure those guys put up a tremendous battle before they were killed. And
well, when Rabbi David called in at the end of the first hour today, if you guys missed that. I tell you often about about an hour after we go off the air, Mike, our board op, uploads the entire show on our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. trueoldiesfla.com. Go back and listen to Rabbi David's call. It was in the last 10 minutes of the first hour, and he said the reports are that they were raping the women at the festival. There's new evidences, then killing them by beheading. And let me tell you, Israel has all of this footage, and they've shown incredible restraint by not releasing it.
I think some of it has to be released.
I don't want to see it.
I think you have to know what your enemy is capable.
We know.
I think it's necessary.
I don't want to see it. You know, I'll tell you, Steve. Don't see it. I've seen a lot of things like this over the years in this business. People send me stuff, and I normally don't open. There were two things I saw, both by accident, that someone sent me. One was when they cut the head off of some guy, the Al-Qaeda, with a knife, and I never have forgotten that. And then some jerk sent me a video of inside one of the classrooms at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. And while the shooting was going on, and I mean, I got that vision in my mind right now. I try not to think about it. You cannot unsee this stuff. You cannot unhear this stuff. You do not need to see it. You do not want to see it, and don't search for it online. And I'll just take the word of the people reporting it. I mean, you know. All right.
Things evolving to the point where the terrorists get what is due them.
They're getting what's due to them. I promise you.
In order to have that process pull through.
No, I think no.
The world's going to have.
All right, we got to run for a break. I'll give you the last word, caller.
Okay.
All right, that's a great last word. We'll be right back.
Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the...
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. And on Monday, William Youngerman, you said we need to wait 2 days to see where the metals are going. Here it is, 2 days later. How the metals looking today?
Actually, the metals are higher today. Yesterday was the day to buy. I actually said that.
Yep.
On Saturday. Monday, Tuesday was the day that we had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not today. Today, gold's higher.
Well, that's a good news too. That's good news.
The markets are responding to the severity of this situation, and as I said before, normally you'll see a small bounce in gold and rumors of wars. Usually we get maybe $50 or something out of it, and then it settles back down. It goes to whatever direction it was heading in the first place. But this is a reversal that also took place on Friday, that before the event, and this is serious. This is very serious, as you've been talking about, and this is not going away anytime soon. So again, you have to hedge yourself with the precious metals. It's the only protection for the dollar, and pretty much gold is continuing to rally on that news. Right now, we've got gold up $11.60 at $1,871.60. Silver $22.01, up 19 cents. Platinum down $5 at $8.76, and palladium down $7 at $1,146. And notice that the industrial metals, platinum and palladium, are not following this rally with gold and silver. Again, gold, silver are your real hedge against severe situations, whether they are economic or political or wars and rumors of war.
So what's the recommendation today with the metals, William Youngerman?
Add to your positions if you have the money to do so. If you haven't bought any precious metals, you certainly should be taking advantage of this. Remember, we are still significantly off the highs that we hit of $2,050 or $2,075 on gold, so it's still a great buy.
Yeah, and with it looks as if, of course, sadly, hostilities are going to increase in the Middle East, which will cause things even to go higher. So, listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in, and if you can stop in, you really should. When we say it's like a museum at William Youngerman's, it is. I don't like calling William Youngerman's a coin shop, because it's much more than that, as you'll see when you visit. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto. And when you go inside the lobby, William Youngerman's is directly across from the bank. You can find him online at williamyoungerman.com, or give him a call. Again, he opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. Okay. All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, we are back. So we're going to have to disagree on the footage, Steve. And I mean, I've seen over the weekends when I saw the kidnappings, I haven't been able to get that out of my head, and I can't. We're going to, unfortunately, they're going to release the footage because the anti-Israeli people are accusing the Israelis, even though they've taken the global media into these homes where the slaughters have happened, they've accused them of making it up. And they keep, I even had a call today from an idiot from Harlem who said there's no proof, there's no proof. So they're going to go in and let the press see so that these anti-Semites can have their proof, which then, of course, they'll just say it was staged.
But you do realize when they do that, they will have vindicated my position on this.
What's that? I don't know what that means. What's your position?
That it's a necessity.
Now, the people that the anti-Israeli anti-Semites will then just say it was staged. It's not real footage. They'll never accept it.
Yeah, you know what they say about a picture is worth. What do they say?
Yeah, 1,000 words.
There you go.
No. We're gonna disagree on that one, but I'll tell you this, and I don't know if any of you had this experience. When I woke up on Saturday morning and I saw that things were happening in Israel, I didn't realize at what level. I don't think many people did. And violence in Israel is an everyday occurrence, to the point when you see some smoke coming out from far away in Israel, you're like, oh, another day in Israel. You don't think about it too much. And then by the late morning, we realized what had happened. And yesterday, we're realizing even how much worse it was, going house to house, the terrorists were doing. And I don't think the world has ever experienced something like this in real time. You know, all the Holocaust references that are being made, you know, the mainstream media, they knew about the Holocaust and they hid it from the American people. The New York Times and all the media at the time, they hid that from the world. They did not want people to know about the Holocaust. They knew about it for years before Germany fell. They don't like reporting this stuff because the media are anti-Semitic. And I think you probably agree with this, Steve. The media is surprisingly pro-Israel. They're never this way, except for Andrea Mitchell. Andrea, did you? Yeah. Well, did you see what happened with Andrea Mitchell yesterday? Oh, this is going to get a lot of play today. I don't know if we have time to play the audio, but let me read some of this. Let me read a little bit of this so there's some background. An Israeli mother whose 2 sons were taken hostage by Hamas was being interviewed by Andrea Mitchell, whose husband is Alan Greenspan, that was the head of the Fed all these years. All right. Andrea Mitchell asked the Israeli mother whose 2 sons are taken hostage by Hamas how she feels about Israel's counterstrikes in Gaza, with her normal condescending tone. Let me pull this audio up. I mean, she's a terrible monster, Andrea Mitchell, and she's getting a lot of blowback. The world has come out against her on this one. Listen to this. This is the exchange. Andrea Mitchell, by the way, MSNBC.
But what are your feelings about the how
I
can the
must
government...
say, look, you're looking for a symmetrical situation, and I must say, it isn't. If you were dealing with a war who is between two countries, countries don't take children hostages. I'm sorry. It's against the laws of war. It's against humanity. It's against anything that we all believe in. Every time we had missiles shot at us, I used to say to my children that they should be sympathetic towards the children of Gaza because they suffer a lot more than they do. I'm not sure I still believe in it now. And I must say, the only worry I have now from the bombings in Gaza is the fact that my children are there. And I can't be sympathetic anymore. I can't be sympathetic to animal human beings, well, they're not really human beings, who came into my house, broke everything, stole everything, took my children from their bedrooms, and took them to the Gaza Strip. Israel never done that, and will never do. So there is no symmetry. I'm sorry.
Do you want the government...
I'm sorry to be so emotional.
Do you want the government to put the top priority on getting the hostages out?
Notice, this is what we used to get prior to this incident with every media outlet in this country towards it. Notice how Andrea Mitchell, don't you feel sorry for the poor Gaza Palestinians? Don't you think that they should stop and just try to get the hostages back? You see this sicko? She's a Jew, isn't she? Andrea Mitchell? Is she Jewish? I mean, this is what we talk. Well, Alan Greenspan, her husband, is. This is what, she's some old fossil. I thought when HD 4K came in, she'd retire because you get to see what she really looks like, and it's like the Crypt Keeper, okay? But I guess they got a lot of filters and special lighting. I don't know. But Andrea Mitchell is an ugly monster, but this is what the entire media... Look, every opportunity she's trying to be sympathetic to the monsters. And this mother, you hear what she said? They came into my house, stole everything, and snatched my sons out of their bedrooms.
Do you want the government... Do you want the government to put the top priority on getting the hostages out before they retaliate?
I want my government to put it on the first priority, and I want the world to put it on first priority. I think any mother in the world should try and imagine her children under that situation, and then think again. That's all I want. I want the world to ask them to release children, to release elderlies, to release the civilians they took. There is no reason to hold them there. They are not soldiers, they are not part of the war, and they have nothing to do with it. We gave them work permits. We really believed that this was the way to move their economy, to reconnect these two so-called countries. This is not the way a country behaves. This is the way that a terror organization behaves. I'm sorry. So again, there's no symmetry.
Okay. Yeah, so Andrea Mitchell, every step of the way, she's from this old school where NBC News can control a narrative. Everything she's doing is trying to stop Israel from defending itself. She doesn't care about the hostages. She just doesn't want the Palestinian terrorists to be harmed. That's who she cares about. She thinks the people in Gaza are being held hostage by Israel, and you can hear it in her tone. And she's getting a lot of blowback from this exchange and the global press, and she's not used to that. Okay, her husband ran the Fed. She thinks she's the queen of the world, and she may end up retiring over this, Steve. And you'll see this today. Oh. Andrea Mitchell is getting resistance like she never has. Now, listen, guys, the weekend is right around the corner. This is hump day, the middle of the week. And if you're like me, you're more active on the weekends. If you're suffering with pain, you don't have to. Call Dr. Philip Appleton. Go see him. Appointments aren't necessary and walk-ins are welcome. If you're in pain, you can go see him this morning. Just walk in. And talk to him about his laser away pain treatment. It works. He will rid you of your pain so that you can have a weekend of enjoyment and activity. And by the way, even if you're not active, do you want to be in pain? Stop taking drugs. That just masks the pain. You still have the issue. And the laser away pain treatment, which has rid me of pain 5 times, sometimes from injury, sometimes from just getting older and having arthritis. It works on so many different types of pain: arthritis, bursitis, work injuries, sports injuries. I haven't had bursitis, but I've had arthritis, work, and sports injuries that he's rid me of pain from. Dr. Appleton. Strains and sprains, repetitive motion injuries, post-surgical swelling, neck pain, back pain, knee conditions. He rid me of my knee pain, tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, rotary tears, herniated discs, acute pain, chronic pain. He can help with all that and more. You can find Dr. Appleton online at appletonchiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. All right, listen, that's all the time we have for today. We will be back tomorrow. And I meant what I said to the caller earlier. Go to our radio station website in about an hour if you missed the first hour of today's show, trueoldiesfla.com, trueoldiesfla.com. And, of course, every second of the show is exciting and brilliant and everything else. But Rabbi David's call in the first hour, he's in contact with people in Israel, and he shared some just terrible stories of what's going on over there that I think people need to hear. So it's trueoldiesfla.com. Just go to the podcast section. Our show is uploaded at trueoldiesfla.com every day and archived there forever. All right, well, Steve Kane has been here. I've been here too. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. God bless America, God bless Israel, and Donald Trump.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar.
Hey guys, I'll see you later.